First up is Josh Gelser. Josh is a strategic project manager at DuPont Community Credit Union in Waynesboro, Virginia. Josh's project is how a PMO can help you love your projects and serve your members. His project title is Project Management Office. Josh Gelser. There you go.
Good morning. My name is Josh Gelser, and I'm here today to talk about how my PMO, Project Management Office, is channeling the power of projects to build DuPont's future. And I'm excited to do this because I love creating and building, and I like being able to do it in a role where I can have a member and community impact through projects. So let me show you what this looks like. We're going to take a walk into one of our branches. Here we have really a day in the life at a dialogue branch. Member Service Representative Laura is working with a member on ideally a more relational transaction. But what's really going on here behind the scenes? We have a teller cash recycler, the result of a major project that enables this interaction. We have a door greeting policy and others like it, the result of a project that enables this interaction. We have staff training, again, major project that enables this interaction. And really, there are dozens and dozens of projects running behind the scenes to make this happen. So my claim is that DuPont operationally is the sum of its projects. And this is true at your credit union as well. There's not a product, policy, or process you have that was not made with a project. So what you don't see here behind the good results are maybe some of the pain and challenges that came in the form of over budget, out of scope, and late projects, or the pain that the project team experienced while implementing. So we were asking ourselves, how do we get the results without the pain? The answer is a PMO, a project management office. So my vision is to develop project leaders to implement DuPont strategy through well-managed projects. There's a lot here. We'll break it down line by line. So develop project leaders looks like this. As I have promoted the PMO internally, I've been asked by a number of team leads and managers for project management training. Here, I'm working with Card Services, giving them some project tools to use on their project, and manager Amanda on how she can work the portfolio of projects in Card Services. And really, we had a good time with it. We worked through a funny case study, and now they have more tools and confidence to go back and work on their projects. And ideally, as I'll show you later, they have some strategic alignment as well. So our PMO is all about developing project leaders, and this includes me as well. Here's my DISC profile, and really, you don't have to know DISC. What this says is that I'm a more technically minded, detail-oriented person. So how I can grow as a project leader is to continue to work towards driving towards decisions. And as we heard Equalman talk about earlier this morning, we can all work at getting out of our comfort zones. So what this also says is that I am not the kind of person that gets up and takes selfies when presenting to the mid-managers group. But look at me now, right? So this is what developing project leaders look like, and those leaders are going to implement DuPont strategy. So DuPont strategy comes in the form usually of major projects that come from senior leaders. But we knew that there are other good ideas out there that support strategy as well, and so we wanted to find them. And we thought, well, I bet the ideas in our organization, if we could see them, would look maybe like this. Little blinks of light, fireflies in a forest, going on and off. And as every little kid knows, the best way to capture a firefly is when the light is on. So when the idea is fresh, you have to get it out of your brain and somewhere else to do something with it. But even if we could get all our employees to offload their ideas, their fireflies, to think that somehow the best ones just rise to the top without a formal process is too optimistic. So we have a process. Employees can submit all their ideas to the enhancement inbox. A project development group reviews them, builds them, aligns them to strategy, and then a steering committee moves them through the gates to completion. So another benefit of this process is that when you have all your projects in one area, you can check for project overlap, and you can align your resources better. While this is very much in a prototype stage, I'm proud to say that 2 weeks ago, we had our first project start as an enhancement inbox idea and move through to completion. So Travis, a member service representative, noticed a persistent problem that members had with one of our products. So he submitted his idea, whereas before maybe it would have blinked and flown away, and it moved through the process, and now members no longer have that problem. It's awesome. So while this is a major part of our PMO, this isn't the whole story because strategy only gets implemented through the well-managed projects. So this is where the rubber meets the road, and organizations can either build themselves up project by project or squander precious resources. A recent Project Management Institute study found that of organizations that are using project management best practices and tools, 90% of their projects are completed according to the original plan. Not according to the original plan, the original scope statements. However, organizations that don't barely have 40% of projects meet the original goals. So this 50% gap is huge in terms of the ROI, right, on the money that you're investing in your projects. You want to get those results back. So we get intuitively why this is. So I'm going to show you a picture of the very simple walk up the stairs project, right? So this is why the projects are late or over budget or out of scope, because projects are messy. So to be sure that we're not building staircases to nowhere, we're using, like on Travis's project and others, some project management tools and best practices, communication tools, risk analysis tools, requirements tools, so that we can get the results without the pain. So I've showed you a little bit of what the PMO looks like at DuPont. For a couple more details on it, we sit under IT. It consists of myself and one other project manager. Both of us have earned our PMP certifications this year, and we have been very grateful for the project management and credit union community's help in standing up our PMO. So I know many of you have PMOs as well, and ideally I've given you some fireflies to take back to your organization, and as I've had conversations with some of you, I really appreciate hearing your stories as well. I know some of you don't have PMOs, and even though you don't have a PMO, I hope you see that because you are actively building your credit union via projects right now, that this is important. So if the project leaders at DuPont are implementing DuPont strategy through well-managed projects, we don't see the projects. Really what we see is this, a painless relational interaction with our members that's meeting the members' needs. So this is the result of a PMO channeling the power of projects. This is how we are building DuPont's future. Thank you.
Excellent job.
Thank you.
So what you don't see is there's a countdown timer here, and they've got 10 minutes, and they're supposed to end at 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. He ended at 3.0. Nice job. So we're going to go to the judges, and let's start with David Brock.
Well, I'll use some of my CUES knowledge here from the Strategic Innovations Institute. So if this turned out to be just a total flop,
mm-hmm.
you know, aggregating all those things together, creating the PMO, if it just turned into a total flop, what would people say was the reason that it failed?
Yeah. Common reasons for PMO failure, and I'll say too, the average lifespan of a PMO per the latest statistic I saw was 2 years. So that is a very real question in some organizations. Reasons it's fail is lack of executive support, and then the other top reason is the PMO is just seen as the project police, too bureaucratic, and too many of those tools to slow things down instead of helping to get things done and move things along. So those are the two big ones.
And Dee Dee.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. Thanks for coming. I appreciate everything that you did this morning. One of the first slides you had, and the ending slide, was what's going on behind the scenes here, right? And so what I want to say here is you had some things going on behind the scenes in the competition that were extraordinary. You sought out extra coaching and support that was above and beyond. So I just want to make sure everybody here knows that.
Oh, thank you.
And then what are you going to do with all of this?
Yeah.
Where are you going on this journey, and what's the change?
Yeah. So real quick backstory to that, I appreciate that sentiment because a lot of my initial versions of this were so technical they'd put people to sleep. So I'm glad to work on my DISC profile and with the help of the coaching to make it more engaging. I would love to continue to grow in a project management role. I'm still kind of new to this. Being a portfolio manager is kind of the next step in the journey. And then really something like a chief strategy officer, I believe, fits my skill set. that I could still have somewhat of a technical role and understanding, but I enjoy the visioneering and looking to the future, looking to new things. So something like that.
We got time for one quick question from Dan. I'm sorry, your name tag is covered by buns. Yes. Bread. Your bread buns.
Josh, very much appreciate that you see the importance of getting ideas from across the entire organization, and I'm curious for prioritization. How are you able to account for or adjust for the possibility that a really good idea comes from a really poor presenter?
Yeah. Okay, really good question. So when we did our research, we're warned, don't necessarily have the people whose idea it was present to a steering committee, because it can be kind of like Shark Tank, right? And the quote from the project manager was, the knives come out sometimes if people really want their project to go done, or maybe, they don't have the skill set to present it well. So trying to not have that happen in a situation, but go by as much as you can, start with some metrics about the project, like a project proposal with some real bullet points of return on investment and the goal and the scope. And then from there, have the steering committee make best decisions and maybe then get the input from the submitter after that. So we're still working with that, but that's our best guess so far.
All right, let's hear it for Josh.
Thank you.
Well done.